So Richard, a few weeks ago, Stephen Hawking was lofted up by a so-called vomit comet to experience zero gravity. And I understand the plan is for a Virgin Galactic to launch him in a couple of years' time. Just tell me how the preparations for that are going.
They're going good. I mean, the first Virgin Galactic spaceship will be brought out of its hangar in about 5 months' time. And very excited about that. And then there will be 12 months of extensive test flights into space by test astronauts, and then we'll be ready to take myself, my family, and other wonderful people like Stephen Hawking into space. And I think that the most important thing was that we wanted to be sure that his body could cope, and it couldn't have coped better. In fact, I suspect his body prefers to be floating than to be static. So space seems to be perfect for him.
Just talk me through the Spaceship Two flight. I remember covering the Spaceship One test flights by Burt Rutan's company. But is it going to be the same kind of format, or are you going to change things a little bit?
Spaceship Two is at least twice as big as Spaceship One. It will come out of its hangar. It will be attached to the bottom of the mothership. It will go up to 60,000 feet. It will be dropped away just like Spaceship One. It'll go 0 to 3,500 miles an hour in 10 seconds, and then you'll have the ride of your lifetime. Head off into space. And no, basically, almost everything about Spaceship One we've replicated. There's a few things that we've changed slightly over the last 3 years. It's bigger, it's much more comfortable, and it's designed for people to enjoy weightlessness. We've got enormous big windows in the spaceship, so people can look back at the wonders of Earth from space, so it's not too far off now.
Have you got any proposed dates? I mean, I realise you've got a sort of road test, if that's the right word, Spaceship Two first, but is there a date for your family to go up and?
We're talking about roughly 18 months from now for the first official flight, which would be myself and my family, and then subject to a final sign-off from the doctor, Stephen Hawking would go off soon after that, and we'll be very honoured to have him on the flight.
When you say your family, just that's your.
It's my mother, my father. My father will be 91. My mother will be 88, and my two children, who are not really any children anymore, but so we'll be spanning 3 generations.
Very final question: what's the one aspect of the whole experience that you're most looking forward to?
I mean, look, to have a little English company called Virgin, being the first company in the world to offer to be able to send people into space, that's pretty exciting, and I think it'll be the beginning of real space exploration. I think once you get private companies in there, rather than a massive big publicly owned company, which NASA has been, then I think a lot of things are going to be possible. So first of all, I think we'll be able to let people just experience the joys of space. We'll be able to send satellites into space at a fraction of the cost that have been sent in the past. Once our engineers have finished this program, they'll straight away be moving on to seeing whether we can fly passengers between sort of London and Australia in around about half an hour, just popping the spaceships out of the Earth's atmosphere and back down again, and with almost no environmental damage whatsoever. From there, we'll be looking at at a spectacular hotel in space. We'll be looking at little spaceships which can travel from the hotel and go around the moon. They can be programmed so they can just be 100, 200 feet above the moon, and you can, two people could go off and then come back to the hotel at night times, just pulled by the gravity. And then, as Steve Hawkins wishes, we can look at trying to colonize somewhere out of the Earth, so that should, God forbid, some disaster ever hit the Earth, that civilization can live on and maybe even come back and recolonize the Earth again. So it all sounds like science fiction. It is sort of science fiction, but if you don't dream, nothing happens, and we're all dreaming and believe that a lot's possible.
So, Richard, thank you very much indeed. Fantastic.